Hello, and welcome to the next installment of EuroPeers on Chaos TV and Chaos Radio. My name is Olga, and I'm project manager for EuroPeers UK, the collective noun for young people who have done international projects with Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Corps. And today we've got with us Ellie and Alexandra. Ellie is based in the UK. Alexandra is now based in Germany, I believe, but they'll tell us a little bit more about that in a minute. And today we're going to focus on an exciting project that the two of them have started a while ago, which is the End of 2020 film project, EuroPeers End of 2020 film project. But before we get on to that, I would like to ask Ellie about who you are, where are you currently based, and how did you first get involved with EuroPeers? And then I'll pass that same question to Alex.
So my name's Ellie. I'm based in Morecambe in Lancashire, like in the UK. How did I get involved with EuroPeers? I suppose it was quite a while ago now, because I remember like our kind of launch event. So that must be 2016. I think
March 2016.
March 2016. So I've been involved since then, and I kind of came to it through my connection to Momentum and participation in their Erasmus Plus projects. So things like going to Georgia and Bulgaria and some things like this. So that's how I got involved, and I've stayed ever since. Is there any part that I missed of those questions? I can't remember the other one.
No, that's good.
Okay.
And then same question for Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm based in Hamburg now, which is in the north of Germany. And I was living in the UK for, I think, almost 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. So first I did my EVS, the European Voluntary Service, in England, in Dudley. And it was, I think, for like 6 months. And after that, I was thinking, oh, well, I really want to get involved in promoting this program and, getting more young people involved into volunteering and spending some time abroad and so on. And well, it happened that I actually studied in Edinburgh. So I was living there for 4 years. And in 2017, I went, I think it was the second ever EuroPeers UK training course, where I also met Ellie and Olga for the first time. So it's been over 3 years already. And well, I've been involved ever since, and it's been a very important part of my life. And I'm very happy I got involved. I'm happy I'm still involved across borders, still getting in touch with these amazing people. And yeah, so here I am back in Germany, but I'm still, still participating in projects online at the moment.
Okay, and Alex, actually, you've been part of the Momentum World team as well, because you completed an internship in our London office a while ago as well. What has been your most memorable experience being part of EuroPeers? We've established that you've been part of the network for a number of years now, but if you were to sort of identify that one experience that has been, the most sort of wonderful and most memorable one, what would that be? And I'll ask Alexandra to answer first.
So I think it's a good question. It's nothing I can answer for sure, but I think one of the most important things that we have done was going to Strasbourg almost, well, I think it's like 2.5 years ago, in 2018 in May, and we went to the European Youth Event, which is, in case someone doesn't know, it's a massive event. It's 8,000 young people from all over Europe, and some people even come from even further away, and they just spend like 2 or 3 days at the European Parliament in Strasbourg, and there's lots of workshops happening, debates, discussions, flash mobs, all kinds of activities, which is super exciting. And we went with the EuroPeers UK delegation of 10 people plus Olga, and and it was such an amazing experience, because we actually ran a workshop about Erasmus Plus and the impacts after Brexit and so on. And we had this amazing international crowd of young people who discussed with us the importance of Erasmus Plus in their own experiences. And we just got to share lots of amazing experiences we had in the past. And I think just being there and seeing all these passionate people was quite impactful.
I think along similar lines, it's when it kind of goes in real and in international. And so mine will probably be when we all, well, a group of about 5-6 of us went to Utrecht. And there, I think what was great about that was we were meeting up with EuroPeers from other countries. So it was like all our like correspondence and seeing activities of other EuroPeers is kind of like virtual, and you get a sense of it and you see the newsletters, but to actually like meet those people and then to go forward and to work with them afterwards was like, I think that was really like, I don't know, energizing, if that's the word. And also the national agencies were there as well, so it was great to kind of like, you know, like talk to, you know, people that you don't normally talk to.
So yeah, in Utrecht, that was our European network meeting, which happens once a year.
I forgot that key detail of like why we went.
Well, that was our fifth, I believe, European network meeting.
Yeah.
And the one before that happened in Estonia, in a little town called Viljandi. And Estonia is actually now hosting the European coordination for the International Network for EuroPeers.
So that's where Emma is.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly right. And one of our own EuroPeers from the UK is now the European coordinator for the EuroPeers network, based in Tallinn, in Estonia.
We'd love to see it.
I have a couple of comments actually on the things that you've just brought, and thank you for sharing your experiences, you know, with the European Youth Event in Strasbourg back in 2018, and also Utrecht Lab in 2019 now. I keep saying 2020, forgetting that it's been 2021 for about 4 weeks now.
Disgusting.
Yeah, time really does fly, even in lockdown.
Yeah.
There is a planned participation. There's a plan for the participation of EuroPeers, a collective of EuroPeers, a delegation of EuroPeers, together with EUSN for the European Youth Event online, which is happening at the end of May. And we are hoping to contribute content to that particular event. And also we hope to be able to deliver a workshop together as a broader collective of young people. And the positive news about that is also that as the UK is invited to join, the European Parliament did put out a tweet and some additional information on their website that young people from the UK are strongly encouraged to take part and to apply and be a full part of that event, you know. And obviously the downside is that it's online, it's not face to face. You don't have that element of travel, but you still get to be a full member of the delegation and then be part of that, you know, exciting experience. And then hopefully toward the end of the year, we'll find out about the plans for the European meeting, which was going to be hosted and is going to be hosted by the Italian national agency. So we will be based in Italy, hopefully in a face-to-face capacity. So yeah, thank you for sharing those experiences. So obviously, we've spoken a little bit about your memories from being part of, you know, the network, but I want to move on a little bit to the present and your present involvement. And if I could just get you to speak a little bit about 2020 and your experiences, if I can ask you that, in 2020, as part of the network and as young people, you know, as a young person, Ellie, in the UK, and as a young person, Alexandra, in Germany, what has 2020 brought into your lives, and how have you managed to navigate that world as young people?
So for me personally, it did have quite a big impact on my life because I left Scotland in March because of the pandemic, and you know, I'm still sad. It's been over 10 months. Sorry, 10 months. It's been over 10 months. Luckily, not 10 years. No, but it's been over 10 months, and for us being in this situation, for all of us, it's bad, you know. It's for everyone, it's so horrible. And I was reading about what's going on in Brazil, and like it's just horrible, and in the UK as well, and like in so many countries so many people are suffering, and everyone, I guess it did impact everyone's life in not so pleasant ways. But I think in a way we can try to see something positive from initiatives like EuroPeers, because for me, like, you know, I went back home, I moved back to Germany where I didn't live since 2015, apart from visiting. And actually being involved in EuroPeers really made me connect more with other people from other countries, through all these online activities, through Zoom, obviously, and like seeing you guys and seeing other EuroPeers. I think it really makes you feel better about the whole situation, because there's still all these connections. Even if you live in a different country, even if you are abroad, it's fine, you can still stay connected. And it's a privilege to have these connections, and it's a privilege to have Zoom and have all these amazing events going on. And for us, I mean, we've been doing some really interesting activities this year, doing like WhatsApp conversations with current ESC volunteers.
Would you like to, sorry, Alex, to jump on that, would you like to sort of say a little bit more about that? What is ESC? And what was the idea behind having a WhatsApp group, for young people in that capacity?
Exactly. So ESC stands for European Solidarity Corps, which is the new program that kind of replaces the European Voluntary Service. So you can volunteer abroad in a different European country for up to 1 year. And you don't have to pay for it. All the expenses are covered. And obviously now a lot of young people went abroad. I mean, Ellie and I also, we did our voluntary service back in the day, a few years ago. Of me, I mean, Ellie, I think you went to Hungary, was it like two years ago?
Yeah.
And I did my voluntary service, I think 5 years ago. But think about all these young people who were kind of stranded abroad during a pandemic that was completely unprecedented, and they just live in a different country. Maybe they don't speak the language, maybe they don't know anyone, and they don't have anything to do because they have to work from home. But if you do social work, for example, you can't do a lot of things working from home. So our idea was to connect some people from different countries and just have some sessions talking to each other, connecting with each other, and kind of giving everyone an opportunity to share their feelings. I think it's small activities like these. I mean, it won't change the world, but it will make a small impact, and even connecting people feels nice, Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Ellie, did you have any thoughts about how COVID changed your life in 2020? Would you like to share them?
Yeah, how COVID impacted here, I suppose. At the start of 2020, I was kind of in a full-time job that was in an international office based around Erasmus Plus projects. So immediately, we already knew Brexit was on the radar, but then obviously Corona struck, and all those mobilities for young people and things like that had to be postponed, and still are postponed at the moment. So that's where we began, and then it was a lot of time on the sofa working from home, but also it was a good time. Well, I can't say it was a good time because we're in a pandemic and there's a lot of trauma going on, but it was just kind of a chance for me personally to kind of evaluate where I'm at, and my own am I enjoying what I'm putting my time into, and all these kind of questions. And it probably is the worst time ever to quit your job, especially because security and things, it's just everything's uncertain. But by having that time at home and things, I was able to kind of stretch my time a bit more and look to do I don't know, expand kind of my job possibilities. So that was kind of a positive thing, but I know that's everyone had very different experiences, and I was a lucky one there, so definitely. And I suppose it's also given me a time to reconnect with people abroad, because when you don't leave the house, suddenly all your international friends are kind of connecting again over Zoom and quizzes and I don't know, chaotic, broken, glitchy calls, which I am one of. I've definitely proved I'm an introvert and very good at it, but those like moments like where you do connect with people, like Alex said, like, you know, they're the highlights of the day. No matter if afterwards you have to like go in a room for an hour by yourself and just like read a book. But yeah, it was like great to reconnect with people that I've not really had time, well, have had time to speak to, but you know, we've both reached out and things. So it was great to reconnect with people. But yeah, it's been tough, but there have been some good bits.
But I feel like the both of you used this time to reconnect with your European networks that you've established through your international experiences, you know, with Erasmus Plus, which is one of those sort of things that don't come up much in terms of building resilience and sort of finding your tribe.
Yes, we love
your international experience, and this is something that has a lasting impact on your life, not only on a professional level in terms of securing better quality jobs overall for those young people who have had international experiences on their CV, and also, you know, in the long run, your resilience and as I said, the network of people who have you have there at all times through the miracle of technology to support you. And I think EuroPeers is a great example of how useful having such networks is in times of crisis. And I hope that we can continue doing what we do on a deeper, higher level with the young people that we have, and that we can still entice more young people based in the UK and elsewhere to be part of this network, because I cannot stress this enough, just because the UK is no longer part of the Erasmus Plus program for the next budget round. It doesn't mean that the projects in some capacity, it doesn't mean that they will not continue. They will continue, because we still have projects that, as Ellie mentioned, have been postponed, have been pushed back by, you know, the very fact that we have this ongoing pandemic. And we will still be part of the broader international European network of EuroPeers, and we will be collaborating with our partners in Europe and beyond. So, you know, there's not a better time to sign up to be a EuroPeer. It's not done now. So I do encourage everybody listening to this broadcast to find us online and register. I'm going to swiftly move on to my next question, which is more so about the very topic of this conversation, which is, at some point, I think back in September 2020, we held our executive team meeting, the meeting for the young people who are very active in the EuroPeers network. And the two of you had this idea of creating this film project, to record where we were at the end of 2020 as young people. And the idea was to originally record some stories from EuroPeers in the UK. And then obviously, as the idea evolved, we decided collectively, as the film crew, I guess, the team that was in charge of the sort of the concept of the project, to open this whole thing up to other young people from all around Europe. So if I could just sort of get you to answer this sort of question about why did you think it was important to have a record of this year, the end of 2020, and why did you think that doing it in this way and as a film project was the way to do it? And if I could start with Alexandra.
Well, you know, it's been a crazy year for all of us, and I think our idea was to have kind of capture this time capsule, whatever, you know, capture a certain moment in time at the end of last year, you know, 2020. It sounds, you know, 2020 already sounds a bit weird. I mean, it sounds special, and it was a special year, and maybe not in a good sense. Maybe it was quite a tough year for all of us, but I think our idea was to capture different perspectives of how we have you know, spent this year, and how we reflect upon last year, and how we you know, spend the last day. I mean, it was kind of, the idea was to capture the last day of the year and to kind of compare, have like a comparison, have a little comparison of how different people spend the same day in different areas, and also in regards to, you know, international connections and what it means to people. And well, yeah, that was kind of the idea we had.
Okay, Ellie?
Yeah, just to echo what Alex said, and also the fact, like, again, Brexit and things, like you said, it's such a it feels such a significant year. And but also, I don't know, just like personally, I like to record things and document things, and so you can access those kind of memories and how you felt at the time, like later on. But it just felt like this was have been like it felt like a significant day on what's been like a really transitional year. So yeah, just something to kind of mush together and record that, I suppose.
So you had this idea,
Yeah.
to do some filming, and to have a record of this quite insane, frankly, year
Yeah.
from the
Insane
perspective
is
of
a
the
good
young
word.
people based in the UK and in Europe. I want to sort of know a little bit more about the technical aspect of it, because yes, I think you did sort of decide at the very beginning that you're not going to use any elaborate methods. You're going to just ask everybody to use their mobile phones to do that. But how did you then sort of educate the young people who were interested in doing it, and actually following through with what you had designed?
So first, we sent out a call for participants through the newsletter, the EuroPeers UK newsletter, to ask, well, to first find some participants who would be willing to record their day. And we had like some basic instructions. We didn't want to be imposing too many ideas because we didn't want to restrict the creativity of the contributors. But yeah, the idea was to have some certain aspects, some ideas of images or shots that they could film. For example, film your window in the morning when you wake up, or film your breakfast, or film a news story, certain small bits like that. And we did also record a filmmaking workshop. I'm not sure if anyone watched it, but it's also totally fine if you didn't, because it's not that educational.
Save yourself, yeah.
It's very good. I'm going to sort of jump into that. It's very good, and it's available online. You can look it up on the
The promo, I love
YouTube channel.
I think the idea was to be as authentic as possible, and we didn't want to make this whole thing super professional, set up film where everyone has exactly the same setup, because that's the whole point. We want it's like a documentary, right? Like, you want it to be authentic, and you want the contributors to film their day the way they perceive their day, so I mean, yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything, Ellie.
No, I just think what we were trying to do was keep it, simple, accessible, easily adaptable, and just kind of we'd brainstorm those like bits in your day that you could really see like the similarities and differences kind of between people and how they live their life, like the view outside the window, what they eat for breakfast. So there was like a bit of thought like there, and you can really like imagine how that's going to look like in the final film. And we thought like a day in your life is some really like I don't know, relevant visuals for when you're talking like about yourself, because we had to find visuals for these questions that we'd answered. And I think just to have these kind of two, like, question and answer and film your day in your life, like they match up quite well in when you're talking about kind of a personal experience. So yeah, I don't know. So just I echo what you say, Alex.
Have you had a good response from the young people, and have you had a look at the footage that they've already submitted?
Yeah, so we created a WhatsApp group from the people that like registered the interest. I think Alex actually created the WhatsApp group. It's everybody's been kind of so enthusiastic about it. And we've had submissions from Italy, from like UK, from Greece. So it has become that international kind of thing that we hope for. And just like looking through the drive with the footage, like already there's so much to work with. So exciting to see how it will come together. And what I like is this process is like, normally I don't know, like, oh, you're the editor director, like gives a bit of guidance on the vision. Here we're like, so guys, how do you want to edit? Like, it's very collaborative, which is like, it's a new way of like working for me, and like, and it's a way I think I enjoy as well, because there's something that I think it will be better for it,
None of us pretends to be super professional. Well, I mean, it's not, that's exactly why I actually enjoy doing, because I think, because for us, we both studied film at university and stuff, but it's really not, if you study film at university, it's really not, people sometimes think you learn crazy things, but you don't. I mean, I feel like there's so many things I still don't know. And I think that's also the beauty of it, because with every single project you work on, you learn so many new things. And you learn things about people, you learn things about the world, you learn things about the whole process of filmmaking, and even how to edit things differently. Because for this project, I mean, we don't even exactly, we're not sure yet how exactly we're going to edit it, because it's kind of, it's not set in stone, which I think is exciting, because you have to kind of work around what you have.
Okay, and what do you plan to do with the project when it's finished? Perhaps, maybe if we can get it shared with the European Youth Event, would you reckon that would be a good outlet for the project to be sort of shown at? Because obviously it's wonderful that you have all this footage submitted by these wonderful young people based all around Europe, but what do you plan to actually achieve with the finished product, if you will?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Like, I think for this one, I don't. Normally, my reaction to making something is to hide it, but now, because it's like got all these different energies and contributions, and is made up. There is no single person. This is like held together, like between different people. I think I'm excited about it, and it's something that I already feel like a bit proud of, like as a group kind of project. So I would love for Pete to kind of share it. I don't know. I don't think people are tired about hearing about people's corona experiences and experiences in 2020. I think everyone is kind of still processing it, and I think this film is like, now, okay, people will watch it and be like, I relate, I don't relate, different whatever we create and our messages, that will like come across. But I think it's over time, it's just going to become like something that's a bit more kind of something to look back on and a little bit more significant. But I hope that, I hope it's shown in like that the European Youth Event, and I hope that other people like feel like they can document their day and European experience and kind of just their messages to the world, if that makes sense. So
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, that's not a very specific answer, but I'm not specific.
I just sort of wanted to add that, touching on what Alex said about this collaborative effort, the fact that it's a sort of a living proof that young people in the UK will just continue working together with the young people all around Europe and all around the world, despite our current predicament being out of the Erasmus Plus, the next phase of the Erasmus Plus program. And I just really like the DIY spirit of it, which is something very close to me as someone who's been in a band.
It's punk. It's
recording your own music, and the independence and the creative freedom that you have, and also proving everybody that you don't have to have fancy equipment to create quality content.
Yeah, definitely.
Content, and then the quality of the stories and the connection that you have with the contributors. It's just something more. There's an added level to that, and you can't buy that with sort of special equipment. It's wonderful to have these things. You two would know this more than anyone else, that it's wonderful to have the equipment if you're willing to, you know how to use it. But if you don't, it should not stop you, because we have these powerful machines in our pockets and we walk around with them, and we can use them, and we can just use them to a good end, for a good cause.
Yeah,
very much in the spirit of EuroPeers and what EuroPeers is about, which is all about telling your own story and then sharing other people's stories and just encouraging others to maybe think about doing something similar internationally. And even though physically we're not allowed to do any international travel, any international projects, I think we're setting sort of ground for the future projects and the future cooperation by doing these online initiatives.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes for this project, and part of me wanting to do this interview today with you for Chaos is to maybe get the audience of Chaos TV and Chaos Radio to think about their own stories and their own communities, you know, their local communities, and what they could be doing to record whatever they've been doing in the year 2020 and then now 2021, and how they can inspire others with their stories. You know, it's easy enough, it's simple enough. Alexandra mentioned the fact that you recorded the workshop, the filmmaking 101, if you will, and it's there, it's free. You can just go on YouTube and search for it under EuroPeers UK on our channel, and you can watch it. And there's some very useful tips for anyone to sort of see and get your own projects going. So thank you for sharing that. Are there any other projects that you guys are working on at the moment? Like the course maybe that you're doing?
Oh, yes. Yes. Good. Yeah. My mind is so blank these days. Yeah, at the moment, I think it's through my connections and friendships in Momentum World that I'm currently doing a mental health first aider course, which is amazing. It's done by Zoom, and I think there's 4 sessions that are like 2.5 hours, 2 hours each, and then there's some online work you have to do as well. And it's basically to learn, basically not to be an expert, but if somebody is in crisis, or not in crisis, but you know, on the way to that, kind of learning how you can best support until or encourage until they can get that help. And for me, it's great because I can just apply the things to myself as well. So it's like free therapy, which is amazing. And yeah, it's just learning to be like non-judgmental. But what is great is that so it's through Paul's charities, how I kind of got set up the Mental Health Motorbike charity, and there are a group of bikers. So the majority of this first aid course is like 50-year-old male bikers with excellent beards, which is just like really like a great company to have, you know. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. And mental health, you know, it's never been more kind of, I wanted to say on the rocks, but I think that's the wrong one. I think it's just one of those things like everyone's got it. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you raise an interesting point. And even through EuroPeers, we've been looking at ways in which we can support our network and our young people, because everybody is going to be affected by the current crisis in the long term. And we have to find ways of how to talk about it and how to best support our members in their everyday life.
No, it just has been back into what Alex was saying before with the WhatsApp club.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a support group. I'm not sure if WhatsApp would now be the chosen methods with everything happening around WhatsApp.
Actually, it was not. See, that's the thing. It was called WhatsApp Conversations, but it was actually not through WhatsApp. It was actually through Zoom. But I think now it's a bit confusing because, yeah. So we didn't do it through WhatsApp. I think maybe Zoom is also not. I don't know if Zoom is good with privacy. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, back to you then. What kind of projects are you working on? I know that you guys are both working, which is fantastic, keeping busy, but what other projects other than our wonderful EuroPeers end of 2020 film project? What do we have going on?
Actually, I haven't told you guys yet because it's it's news. Yeah, no, actually, there's the German National Agency is organizing a EuroPeers training course, an online training course, obviously, at the end of March, and I'm gonna be one of the junior trainers. Yay! which is super exciting because, well, it's quite a nice opportunity to kind of learn more about how to, like, first organize the training and then structure the training, and also obviously hold the training. And it's an international training, but it's organized by the German national agency. So I know the organizer, you guys know her, Ronja. And yeah, it's gonna be a great team, and I'm super excited. And I think this Friday, we have our first meeting to get to know each other and have start planning. And it's super exciting because having something to do that is international, that you can do online in these crazy times, it feels good. It feels nice to do something that's not your kind of day job, but actually doing something maybe more creative and more international.
Excellent. Okay. Yes, you can find out more about the international training course on Facebook for EuroPeers International. That's going to be one of the first things that comes up. Deadline is in mid-February, I believe on the 14th of February, where you can apply. And the course is free and it's fully online. So again, you don't have to worry about arranging anything. You just have to apply and show up on the day. And it's open to, I believe, a range of 30 participants from all across Europe and beyond, and other partner countries in Erasmus+. So there will be some more information shared about the course in our upcoming newsletter, which is coming up actually on the 29th of January, on Friday. I think Emily, the international coordinator for EuroPeers, will be writing an article within it about upcoming international opportunities. So do make sure to subscribe on our website to the newsletter. Right, guys, final thoughts. What would you like to get through to the viewers and listeners of Chaos TV? What's your message? What's the message for the young people listening in? How to get involved in international opportunities, and why should they start thinking about it now? Ellie.
I think the kind of message would kind of be like, there's been no more time more important to like reach out for those opportunities and or to those organizations that can direct you to where those opportunities are. Maybe they will tell you, just hold fire a minute, but they will come again. And when it's safe to do so, you just need to have those contacts lined up so that it is possible. And I think, it's just kind of like that hopeful message, like activity is still going to be happening. If we can't travel, if the funds aren't there, there's the internet, which is just like an amazing access point for so many young people. And I'm sure that we will be able to collaborate again in real. So that's all I have.
Wonderful. And Alex, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what Ellie said. I think she phrased it super well. And well, in general, just, thinking beyond national borders, thinking beyond the small bubble we're currently in, thinking beyond our own environment, but actually thinking about the more international structures and all these amazing people out there who we haven't met yet, or also old friends who live in different countries. And I think this time is especially difficult for international connections, but I think that's why it's even more important to stay connected and to get to know people online. Even going on a Zoom training course like the EuroPeers training course, you can meet people from different countries and you can stay in touch, and at some point we will be able to travel again and we will be able to meet our friends from different countries. And I think it's super important to keep that in mind and to stay hopeful for better times to come in, hopefully the end of the year or in summer, let's say. I think just staying hopeful, and things hopefully are going to get better soon.
Again, final question. So when is the film coming out?
We said February. We want a draft cut,
A rough cut in February. Okay,
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everybody. You've heard it here first. Okay, if you would like to connect with EuroPeers UK, you can go to our website, europeers.uk. You can connect with us on various social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Feel free to drop us a line there. And you can email us at EuroPeersUK@momentumworld.org. Thank you very much. We've been Olga, Alexandra, and Ellie, and we look forward to further broadcasts. All the best, Chaos. Thanks.
Bye.